Hello everyone, thank you for joining us today. This month's History Kids Club theme is on quilting. For those of you who don't know what History Kids Club is, it is a workshop that Alaire started in July where kids between the age of 5 through 12 are invited to participate in a hands-on workshop where they learn about an element of life in the 19th century. In the workshop we talk about history and then we do a craft. Since we cannot get together in person this month, we decided to make this into an online activity that families can enjoy from the comfort of their own home. As I said earlier, this month's theme is quilting, so we're going to be going over a quilt activity where you'll be trying your hands at making a felt quilt covering similar to this one. But first, let's talk a little bit more about quilting and its history and role in the 19th century. So what is a quilt? A quilt is 3 layers of material that are sewn together to make a warm blanket. The 2 outside layers are typically regular pieces of fabric, while the inside layer is what we call batting, which is a type of padding that they put in the middle to thicken the blanket and to make it warmer. The 3 layers together are what actually make up the quilt. Typically, when making a quilt, the top layer has a special design or pattern to it, just like this one, that incorporates methods of sewing and embroidery and other needlework techniques depending on the desired outcome. As you can see, this one in particular shows different styles of sewing as they sewed different fabric pieces together and they sewed hearts along there as well to make it more decorative. Once the top layer is finished, the quilt then needs to be basted, which means you would take the 3 layers and you have to line them up and temporarily secure them to each other. How you would do that is you would take a needle and thread and you would just make big long stitches across it to secure it into place. So that way when you do the more intricate work and sew it together, the 3 pieces stay together. The final step is to quilt all the layers together using a quilt stitch, which is typically a straight stitch where you go up and down with the needle going through the fabric. Once all of that is done, you have a quilt. Quilting has been a part of American culture since pre-colonial times due to its universality. Quilting combines necessity, the need for a warm blanket, resourcefulness, reusing scraps of fabric from previous projects, and expression, being able to design and create your own patterns. Although prior to the Industrial Revolution, quilting was more of a leisure activity that was done by the wealthier classes. Fabric was expensive and typically purchased from Europe, making it less economical to quilt for the lower classes. It was not until the textile industry became established in America in the mid-19th century that fabric was more easily accessible and affordable to the women of all classes, and that's when they were able to try quilting. Quilting was a form of expression for women and a chance to show off their needlework abilities. Women were able to convey their thoughts, beliefs, and interests through their quilts, making it a popular pastime. There were several ways to quilt at the time. One way was the whole cloth method, which is a design where you take one whole piece of fabric to be the front top cover of the quilt. Another method is called the pieced quilt, which is when different scraps of fabric are used to design a new pattern to make the top cover, similar to this one here. There are also variations of both designs that continue to change and develop over time. Now that we know more about quilting and its history, let's try our hands at it ourselves. So as I showed you earlier, today we'll be learning how to make this project here. This is supposed to represent a quilt square covering that you would have with different geometric designs on it. You are more than welcome to learn how to make this particular pattern, but if you want to create your own as well, that's totally fine. It's up to you and what materials you have available. So the materials that you will need for this project are felt, a sewing needle and thread. You'll need scissors, a ruler, and if you want to turn it into a tapestry, you'll need some form of rod or string to go through the top of it that you can hang on the wall. So first, what you want to do is make the base of your project. So you're going to want a longer piece of felt. Mine is 11 inches by 9 inches. Once you have that figured out, you are then going to take the shorter side and fold it over to make a loop and sew the edge like this, so that way you have the means to make it into a tapestry. the next thing you want to do is make the triangles. So you want to take another color of felt and decide what kind of pattern you want to do. In this case, if you want to do this one, you're going to need 2 large triangles and then 6 small ones as well. The large triangle is 3 inches by 3 inches by 4.5 inches. The smaller ones are 1.5 inch by 1.5 inch by 2.25 inches. After you cut out all of your triangles, you're then going to arrange them into the pattern that you like. So like I said, it's typically supposed to be a geometric pattern that is symmetrical as well, so you can see both sides are reflective of the other. So you're going to lay out your pattern, and then you're going to take your needle and thread and sew these triangles onto the backing and create your design. After that, it's basically how you get the quilt pattern, and then if you just want to turn it into a tapestry at the end and hang it on the wall, that's totally up to you. Thank you for watching this video. We hope you enjoyed it. Please remember that we are a nonprofit who relies on the continued support of our community to keep up operations. We would greatly appreciate it if you could donate using the link attached to provide us with the funds to keep our organization running so we can continue to make content for you all. Thank you, and I hope you have a great day.